Hello everyone, welcome back to Neutralix. I'm your host cosolix. Today we're talking about 9 common mistakes that you probably make if you're watching this video. If you want to improve more at Brawlhalla, better, faster, get stronger, beat your opponents, annihilate the enemy, then subscribe to Neutralix because this channel is made to help you improve at Brawlhalla and other fighting games in the future. Shout out to Multiverses, it's coming out soon. You're going to want to play that game because it's pretty awesome. Shout out to Tony for being the GOAT. And let's get right into this video. First common mistake, this is just a bonus. Coaches often help. So if you want to be coached by me, then check out my coaching. Link to that is down below. Coaching can actually genuinely help you improve at Brawlhalla, and I also offer a 1v1 option. So if you want to 1v1 me, see what I do different to you, I recommend if you're like Diamond or something, then it could actually be very valuable. Or you could 1v1 some of the other coaches here on Team Neutralix. Again, check out our products. The link to that is down below. We also have this membership for a student. Basically, if you become a student, you get access to these monthly lectures that are like in a voice call. You can ask questions, talk with me. I'm going to be doing a lecture for this month, and that's only $4.99. So if you can't afford coaching or you don't want a 1v1, for only $5 a month, you get access to a private little class environment, right? So check that out if you want to. If not, watch this video. It's completely free. And let's get into the actual stuff that I want to talk about in this video. First of all, most people watching don't play Brawlhalla with a game plan. Okay, so here's what I mean about a game plan. A game plan is basically a simple set of instructions. If you do this, this, and this, you're going to win every Brawlhalla match in your head. And this is just to make things as simple as possible. So for me, this is kind of what I like to focus on is step one, we need to make our opponent miss. And you can make them miss. You can make them miss by being aggressive, by making them think that they can punish you. Meanwhile, they can't, or they tried to and they can't, or maybe they can, but you try and make them miss. Or you can use movement to get them to think, hey, you're next to me, I'm going to attack you. And then you're actually playing passive, right? So the key thing is step one, make your opponent miss. And then step two is punish ? It's kind of like the decision in real time. Can I punish this miss? Can I capitalize on my opponent making a mistake? If you can, then go to step three. If you can't, go back to step one. We got to make them miss again. Let's say they miss and I can punish. Then step three is kind of like a combo. So you punish them and then you're like, can you combo? Right? And it kind of goes back to step one is you can combo if your opponent is vulnerable. So kind of if they've missed a dodge, you can combo. You can go for a read and whatnot. Those can get a bit risky, or you can make them miss again by doing tempos. So like maybe you go for a follow-up that's a string, but it's also really hard to punish. So it creates this momentum in your favor, right? This is kind of an oversimplification of the state of Brawlhalla, but it's good to go into matches with basically a structure of, hey, if I just do these one or two things, I'm going to win. And simplifying Brawlhalla as much as possible is ideal, right? I come from a programming background. There's this term called scope. Scope is essentially how big the project that you're trying to overcome is, right? For programming, maybe a really big project has a really big scope. If I want to make another YouTube, that's a big scope, right? I can't make a platform. But the key is to lower that scope and focus on one thing at a time. So for Brawlhalla, let's say it's winning a Brawlhalla match. That's a really big scope. There's a lot of factors. So how can we simplify it as much as possible? And that's creating your own game plan. And these next tips are going to help with that game plan and kind of enhance it. The one other thing I want to say about this game plan is there are tips you can add to this. So make your opponent miss. How do you make them miss? Movement. Oh, it's not typing properly. It's because it's on that layer. Movement, right? And you can kind of almost write notes of what else is going to help your opponent miss. Tempo, reactable, unreactable zones, right? And if you don't know what those are, go check out our other videos. Especially, I think last year I posted a video on how to win neutral. Go check that one out because it's really good. We'll probably redo it for 2024. So subscribe to, stay up to date with the latest information because we're going to be doing it again and it's going to have even better information. But yeah, et cetera, et cetera. How do you punish? Punish with combo starters, right? And that's where we're going to talk about this in the next tip is kind of enhancing this game plan into something that's called a flowchart. So the second common mistake is players don't know what a flowchart is. And essentially a flowchart is something happens and then you have a choice to make. I don't know why there's a line above combo. Kind of ignore that. But you have a choice, right? So like, let's say you do an opener, and I call these openers kind of like chess, but they're not really like chess. Essentially, let's say you land an attack, right? You've hit that second step of your game plan. Now you kind of ask yourself, can you combo? And that question of can you combo or can you not combo goes to a flowchart, where it depends on the situation, right? Do you even have a true combo that you can hit, or do you have a string? If you do have a true combo, go for the combo. If you have a string, then maybe you have to ask yourself other questions. What health is your opponent, right? How tight is the string? Or which string is going to serve the best purpose given the situation? And then once you hit that string, then what happens, right? It's this long flow chart of endless opportunities. This is what comboing is really about in Brawlhalla, right? So, and it's like this for every game. There's flow charts of what should you do to maintain advantage state. And let's say you hit the combo, then you're deciding, should I hit a string? Should I go for a reaction? Maybe go for tempo? It's not a 50-50. It's never a 50-50. It's always more than that. Sometimes it is almost a 50-50, but it's almost never actually a 50-50. There's a lot of options. So understanding which option select you should go in your flow chart is important. So you kind of can mention and think about that while you're playing. I'm going to actually play a match, and I'm going to show you my flow chart and how do you optimize a flow chart, and I'm going to talk about it while it happens. This is experimental, but yeah, the key thing with flow charts again is kind of like, what do you keep doing? Like, he's in white now, so maybe I would go for a nair, right? So it's kind of how do you keep extending, then when a nair is further. Like every single time I can slow this game down, there's different like options I'm constantly asking myself, and it's not, you're not going to get this perfect first try around, you're not going to get this perfect second try around, but every time you can think of a better solution to your flow charts, kind of make a mental note in the moment, right? So we're going to play this game right here. This guy, I can't taunt, my taunts are off, I feel bad, whatever. So we're going to play, and then hit side lane there, and then I go for the downlight in my flow chart. Or I go for the downlight there because I, you know, he's low in health. I think they're pretty confirmed. They're a bit slow inputs from me. And you'll also see the game plan that we just talked about there, right? So that was a bit of a flow chart. Now I'm going for reaction. Hit that there. I went for a reaction there. It's constantly picking and choosing what you're trying to do and trying to optimize it given the moment, right? So he's got no dodge. And you can see me being pretty good at the game. It's a lot of reactions because I want to like see when my opponent dodges and misses. It's really taking advantage of that. I shouldn't have dodged down there. Oh, that didn't hit. That's too bad. Hit that there, and he's dead. So again, it's all about these flow charts. The pure neutral is the game plan, right? We want to try and get our opponent to miss, right? Try and make the miss. He missed. Can I punish? There, I thought I could. There, I can. And then I went for a reaction because I didn't have a confirm. Although I probably could have just end lighted. I went for a Sarah there because a lot of people go in that direction. But it's, again, it's a flow chart, right? So let's try and, you know, we can hit a combo. End light. He dodged it. Side light there. I spot dodge in my flow chart to have good positioning. You know, everyone's flow chart is slightly different, but you can make mental notes of what other people's flow charts do. I actually talked to Use, and if you guys don't watch Pro Brawlhalla, Use is the current Brawlhalla world champion, and he won DreamHack Dallas on Lance, and I was there in person, and when I talked to him, he was very sweet to me, but also he was telling me things that he did from watching my gameplay, like the spot dodge after side light nair, right? Because I played Lance before him, so he would watch my gameplay, he'd probably play against and watch Wesley, and like that's very, very important. It's kind of noticing what other people do to extend that flow chart. And yeah, right now it's just pure, you know, game plan stuff. It's like game plan, and then once you get to that can you combo section, step 3, it's like flow chart, right? So I hit a nair. What does he do? Almost hit another nair, side light nair. And then I did that recovery because that created tempo, and that's part of my flow chart. Recovery is hard to punish. So I went for it knowing that he's probably not going to punish it, put me in a good position. There I went for a dare because some people like to dodge in, like I'll go for a dare here. But that also created tempo, and that's why I went for it. So that option select is very important. Go up. He didn't go up. And I'm dead there. But you see exactly what I mean. It's game plan, and then it's extending. Extending is flowchart. Game plan is the set structure. Let's win this game using those kind of tips. And dude, most Brawlhalla players don't think about this stuff. So you guys just watching this, you're in the top like 0.1%, right? So sometimes it's relying on your opponent being bad, but at that same time, it's doing what works in your elo and creating a flowchart that is kind of, ideally you don't have to use your brain while playing, right? You just want to kind of have a flowchart that you can follow automatically where you can win every single match. So that is game plan and flowchart and optimizing it. That's the first 3 tips. This next tip, I'm not going to go too in detail with it, but it's set your preferences. Most players, they don't set their preferences. What I mean by that is if you go to the settings and you hit change region and then you hit add servers, if your secondary servers are enabled, then you've got a problem. You're playing on servers that you probably lag. So disable those. There's a bunch of videos online, but specifically you can look up from our channel on Neutralix, the best options and settings and preferences for Brawlhalla. We made that at the start of this year, and it applies to all of these settings and rank settings and etc. So go check that out. Swerft also made a great video on how to remove input lag if you're a PC player specifically. So go check out that video. But yeah, set your preferences, customize the game, like maybe make it so it shows the stocks, big icons, right? Damage on the icons, etc., etc. Set your preferences. It will make a big difference. Now, another thing most people don't do, but most people probably watching, some people might know it, but some might not. Make sure you pick a main. Like we talked about that scope thing earlier, right? We want to lower that scope and focus on as little things amount as like barely anything we want to work on to make the biggest difference. We want to min-max our time and effort. So if you pick a main, you're lowering that scope. You're lowering the amount of weapons you have to learn, the amount of signatures you need to learn how to utilize and maximize, right? If you only even, like, I pick one weapon, right? I'm not saying to pick one weapon, but it is smart to master kind of one thing if that's all you need. Only focus on what you need. If you're playing every single character, you're going to get good slowly, but it's a lot harder to get good faster because you have so many things you need to improve at. Where if you pick a main, you can really focus on one thing at a time and then maybe play other legends once you kind of understand what's most important and how to get good, right? So pick a main. I promise 1 or 2 characters, or pick a main weapon and like 2 characters. Just lower that scope as much as possible. That will make a really big difference long term. Another thing players don't do is, this is like a simple one, is press jump and attack at the same time. So if you don't know this in Brawlhalla, I think both keyboard and controller you can do this. But if I press jump and attack at the same time, it will jump first and then neutral air. Same thing with jump recovery, right? I slide my finger from the jump to the recovery, but you could press them at the same time as well. This allows you to input combos much easier. You don't have to jump and then attack. That is so much harder. And you could do this exact same thing on keyboard, right? Jump and attack. It will jump first, and most combos in the game, you need to jump, right? Side light there, side light there, side light down there, right? So if you jump and attack at the same time, it makes things so much easier. So many people don't do this, so please do this. So I've got 3 tips that we're going to do while playing matches because that's kind of when they're most useful. The first one is to kind of learn what your opponent is bad at, play around what the weakness of other weapons are. So for instance, we're playing against a 0 player. And I'm going to talk about when he gets this weapon. He's got sword. So sword doesn't have a lot of horizontal momentum. I can kind of space it out pretty nicely on lance, especially grounded, right? Especially with that end light, I could be going for these pokes and he might just fall into them because of where he wants to position himself, right? So kind of thinking about what they're bad at, right? He's already like dead. And on Scythe, for instance, doesn't have a lot of these grounded true combo starters. So ideally, I would do more damage than my opponent on stage. Scythe also is really good diagonally, not great directly above. What is this guy doing? Where essentially, like, you know, Lance doesn't have a grounded anti-air. Maybe Orion does, but most Lance characters, they can't. They don't have a way to stop people aggressing from above them very easily without jump nair, but that kind of that sweet spot between the two, right? So think about, again, what they're bad at. Blasters don't have a lot of grounded momentum. They don't have something that covers diagonally either. But they do have some more range with Endlight, so watch out for that. But they're also, yeah, they're bad horizontally because they have so little momentum. So a weapon with more momentum that can get in easier, like a Lancer Guitars, might have, you know, might make it easier. Hammer is really good stacked. You have that stacked downlight, but same thing, it doesn't really have diagonals. So you can think about that. As long as you're not stacked, they can't hit long combos on you. So again, think about what weapons are good and bad at and play around those. That's going to make your life much easier when kind of coming up with a game plan. Because you want to make it so your opponent doesn't have as much reward. It's not so much game plan, but it's more like your movement and your positioning will kind of really impact things. So focus on that. Okay, the 8th common mistake that you guys probably make is attacking for no reason. A lot of people will just attack because I want to hit my opponent. But yeah, a lot of people, they attack for no reason. So when you're playing, try and maximize all your attacks. Like, think about the purpose. Like, I don't know why he side-lighted, right? Like, let's watch our opponent, see what he does. What is that side-light, that nair? Okay, maybe they're hard to punish. That Sair was dumb. I didn't do anything that confirms that Sair, right? So a lot of like the attacks, try and really maximize the purpose behind them. Think about like what you're doing and think about how can I, like, you know, get the most bang for the buck in what I'm trying to do. Really, again, lower that scope and focus on one attack at a time. Play like your life is on the line. Do whatever it takes to win. Like, pretend you are your main, right? I am Loki. Let's think like that. I'm not trying to run into a Scythe player with my life at danger, right? If I die, I'm dead. So if I am Loki, I'm going to do whatever I can to not get hit. And then I need to win the fight. So I need to make sure he misses. Like, it is playing literally like sweating as much as possible. So when playing, and it's ranked especially, do that. I know a lot of people flame people for being sweaty, but if you're playing ranked, you're going in there because you want to sweat. It's because you want to win. Do whatever it takes to win. There's so many people like, I don't know why you did that GC downlight. Oh, I didn't hit that properly. I saw recovery, it's fine. But yeah, there's just no point in like going for stuff. What does that down say? Why charge it? Then you have no dodge down there. Okay, I let you come back to that because I did something stupid. But you get what I'm trying to say at this point. And the last thing is when you're playing with your life on the line, also try and optimize punishes. And what I mean by that is my opponent's going to miss. Ideally, I want to hit them with a true combo starter, right? I want to punish with side light because combos do more damage than signatures. And it's going to give me really good positioning to keep extending. So try and punish with true combos. That is what's most important. A lot of people punish with like anything that they can get. But if you punish with stuff that's going to give you more reward, then you're going to have much better positioning. Maybe I could punish with a Sig when they're in red health, because that's going to give me more reward. But punishing with true combo starters, like, of course, take what you can get, but at the same time, true combo starters, and you can position yourself in a way, like, I'm positioning myself horizontally to hit the side light. If I'm horizontal, I can hit it. So kind of like picking a position based on like what you're trying to hit that has the best purpose, right? We really want to maximize, min-max our punishes. Also, I'm not... There we go. I wasn't really trying. I'm also talking to you guys. But really watch this match. I'm going to go for these side lights because, again, I want to maximize, right? Went for the end light because the side light would have the same difference because we were hitting it off stage. But yeah, there's no point in me playing off stage. If I got Katars, I'm just going to do more damage on stage. He's got Scythe as well. Scythe's good off stage. There's no point in me going there. Hit the true combo. That's the most amount of damage I can do. Most amount of damage. Got that dodge. Aw, I almost extended with the weapon toss. Why are you taunting, bro? I don't know what I'm trying to do at this point. Oh, that would have been cool. I'm just trying to troll at this point. Okay. Guys, if this video helped, subscribe because this is the best channel to improve at Brawlhalla on YouTube, and we make free content for you guys to enjoy. So really appreciate it if you do hit that sub. Check out my coaching. Again, link is down below, teamneutralix.com. And if you want that membership and get a private kind of class in a small environment and ask questions for only $5, then check out our membership also on the website. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next video. Peace.